Hola, soy Alfonso Escámez de Pecados Veniales y en doble firma vas a poder descubrir casi todas las marcas de relojería independiente en nuestros Indie Talks. Espero que os guste. Welcome back to Indie Talks by Pecados Veniales. This is Alfonso Escámez. What would you think if we told you that time can be told with fluids? It has its origin in the ancient Egyptians with the clepsydras, but there is an independent brand that, from its inception in 2012, has developed calibers able to show the hours with fluids. To know more about this brand, HYT, we have with us Vartzbed, General Manager of the brand. Welcome, Vahe. How are you?
Hello, thank you, and it's a pleasure to join you. I'm fine, thanks.
Thank you for being with us to talk about HYT, a very innovative brand. Just for our for our followers and viewers, we would like to know a little bit more about you. Who is Vartzbed, and have you been always involved in the watch sector? What has been your previous experience?
I'm originally from Armenia. I'm born and I grew up in Geneva, in Switzerland. I've always been followed by watches. My grandfather used to have a store where he was selling wedding rings, and also he was a retailer in the 80s of a few brands. And then when I started to work, I didn't really start in the watch industry at the beginning. I worked for banks in the beginning in Switzerland, and then also at Adidas in Dubai. Mm-hmm. After that, I joined the watch industry, and I have been working for Roger Dubuis for 5 years, for Gérard Perregaux for 5 years, Greubel Forsey for 3 years, and now I joined HYT Watches almost 10 months ago.
Okay, great experience. Then, how was HYT born, and what do those three letters mean, if anything?
As all the stories, when something new and innovative is founded, that was a story of few friends. One of them, Lucien Vouillamot. The company was officially founded in 2012, but the idea came much before. When in 2000 there was an expo that was planned in Switzerland called Expo 202, Expo 02, that was happening around the lake of Neuchâtel and next to the Watch Valley. And they had the idea, a crazy idea. Lucien was thinking it would be funny because we are about to talk about the water, and also we are close to the Watch Valley, so maybe we can put fluids inside the liquids like it was done in the ancient time. And the funny thing would be to label it as since 1600 before Jesus Christ, and that was the first idea. Long story short, in 2008 they started to consider to put this idea into reality. And they had a lot of exchange internally. They found a company, and then they finally found a solution to indicate the time with the fluids. And this is how HYT was born 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm. And the three letters, the meaning of the three letters?
The idea was to make a very short name, easy to say and easy to use. And HY stands for hydro, and T for technology or time. So that's how the name HYT came.
Mm-hmm. At the beginning, we have been talking about the clepsydras. I'm sure that our viewers know what a clepsydra is, but just if you can explain a little bit what is a clepsydra and how do they influence a brand like HYT? So
the principle of the clepsydra was to measure the time of speech most of the time. So you had a recipient, some water, and another one, and the water, as long as it was leaving one recipient to the other one, it is how they were able to measure the time. So that was the idea. But to put it into reality, into a wristwatch, we could. I mean, it was the main idea was to use liquids. However, you cannot really use different components. And the beginning of the idea from Lucien was not to put in a wristwatch. The idea was to have something like maybe a necklace or a bracelet where you had the liquids going from one location to another one. And the idea was to indicate the time of the day, so from the morning till the evening. And that's also historically why you still have on our HYT watches the first step is from 6 a.m. the beginning of the day, so from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and not from 12 to 12.
But it could be a crazy idea, no? Because we try to avoid we try to get away our watches from liquids, and then you decided to put inside the watch the liquid, no?
Yeah, our founders were very crazy to think that. It's true that for maybe 400 years, all watchmakers tried to add a timepiece water-free, water-resistance, and to put the water inside, a liquid inside the water, with all the risk we can understand about the water can rust, can create corrosion. But everything was made to make sure that our fluidic module is perfectly sealed, and that was the crazy idea. And it's also why we stand for challenge everything. We put water where water should not be there, and that's also the crazy idea of our founders.
Here in Doble Firma and in Pecados Veniales, with these indie talks, we try to bring all the independent brands to be more well known by the watch lovers and the community. What are the pros and the cons of being an independent and a small brand?
I believe in today's time there are a lot of pros to be independent because we have seen a rise of interest for the community of collectors towards independent brands. So the pro of being independent is that we can do whatever we want. We have our shareholder that understand the idea and the vision that we have taken, and that's really interesting in a creative or innovative phase of development. The cons, of course, is that we have to do everything by ourselves. So, I mean, we have a small team of 12 people, and we have to cover the world. So we have also to make sure we give the priority when we enter new markets, to have the possibility to support them, to support our retailers and partners.
I always said that in terms of communication, the good thing of independence is that you are closer to your final client. Yes. And then you know what they want. Maybe you know almost all of them. Then in terms of communication, is it very difficult? Is it easier for a brand like HYT?
In terms of communication, yes, it's true. I mean, the fact that we a small team and we have also a small number of point of sale, about 25-30 point of sale, it means that we have a very close reach to our collectors, and it's easy to communicate with them. And also the fact that we have also long-standing partners, I mean retailers that are supporting us since the beginning, it's very helpful. And whenever they can, they come and they see us in Neuchâtel, they bring collectors, and we have like a kind of, it's kind of a group of friends or collectors. So it's easy to communicate with them.
Yeah, it's more like a family, no? To know the owners of your watches. What is your yearly production by?
This year we plan to produce 150 pieces, so it's quite exclusive. We have launched the first collection, T1 series, this year, which will be what we call limited production due to our production capacity. The plan for the years to come is to start to increase production, maybe next year 200 pieces, the year after 250. The idea is to keep also the production quite small, because we want to be able to have a very exclusive production.
One question that I think that it will be not easy to explain it, but is important because it's how the watches work, no? How do HYT watches tell the time? How the two fluids found inside this capillary work, and what is the type of fluids? Because it's not water, it's just are two special fluids, no?
Yep. Good question. So if you can visualize our timepiece, you can see that there are a few elements very important. The most important element on our timepieces on the fluidic module is the capillary that you can see. It's the tube where the fluid is going through. We have also, you can see the bellows, those two pistons, and we have the what we call the thermal compensator. I will go through that, and the fluidic module. Together, they are the base of how we indicate time. So the liquids are filled inside the bellows. You have in two kind of liquids. Mm-hmm. You have one bellows with a colored liquid that you can see, and another bellows where you have a transparent liquids. Those are technical liquids. It's like oil and water. They don't mix to each other. Mm-hmm. So the mechanical movement is pushing one of the bellows at the right pace. It's like all mechanical watches that have the movement that are driving the gear train to show the hour hand. Instead of having hour hand, we have bellows filled with the color liquids. That is, when it's pushed by the mechanical movement, the liquid is going through the tube. It's a very thin tube made out of borosilicate material that we use in the medical sector. And so the liquid is going through the liquid. I mean, it's through the tube, and at the end, at 6 p.m., it's the counter effect. So it has a retrograde effect when the colored liquid is going back to the bellows. And then it starts again from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. So it's a 12-hour journey for the liquid.
Mm-hmm. And then where the two liquids get together is where the time is, no?
Exactly, yes. That was the first question. So this is how we rate the time, the hours, mm-hmm. the border, I mean the frontier. Yeah. We call it the meniscus. That's where you have the indication of time.
The good thing also is that you can dye one of the liquids, no? You can change the color.
Yes.
And that is, one is completely transparent, and the other one, it's dye, no? In the color that you choose.
Today we have 4 different kinds of liquids, fluids. It's the red one, the blue one, the green one, and the black one. We cannot do on demand a new liquid because it takes a lot of time to test the liquids. We want to make sure our liquids can age through times, that mm-hmm. There is no alteration in the next 10, 15 or 20 years. So we have a lot of tests. So whenever we want to develop a new color, because a color is always with a different kind of pigments, so it has an impact on the characteristic of the liquid. So we need to make sure it works perfectly inside the tube and indicate the time very precisely. So whenever we want to release a new color, it's a lot of development with our sister company, Preciflex.
Mm-hmm. What is your relation with Preciflex? What do they do for you?
They do our fluidic module. So they are the ones specialized in the movement of fluids.
Okay, then what are the function of the two bellows? One, the liquids go from one bellow to the other one and come back, or how is it working?
Yeah, what you see is, I mean, when you have the piece in front of you, you have mm-hmm. a bellow on the left, a bellow on the right.
At more or less 6 hours.
Yeah, at 6, yes, correct.
Yeah.
One is filled with a colored liquid. The other one is the one which is at the end of the day filled with the transparent liquid. Mm-hmm. So the purpose of this is to have the liquid inside, and the bellows, when it's pushed, it diffuses the liquid inside the tube.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and one thing that is very important, and I think to explain it, is that how the HYT calibers are able to compensate the time that it takes for the fluid to disappear at 6 hours and come back and reappear.
Because the movement don't stop, mechanically. So it takes about 1 minute to go back, but the movement don't stop. I mean, it's like a walking timepiece, so a mechanical timepiece. So there's a little wheel that allows the return, and then you have no lose of time during that period.
Mm-hmm. Then the caliber is able to compensate what this minute, through all the day, through all the months and years.
Exactly. I mean, the movement doesn't stop. The retrograde effect is twice a day. So at 6 p.m. and at 6 a.m. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. What is quite curious, and I recommend our viewers, is just to see the videos how it works, and also how to set the time, because with the crown it's very nice to see how the liquids are moving. Yeah.
No, that's a very crazy idea from our founders to indicate the time, and it's always a special pleasure when you set the piece, because you see the liquids going through the capillary. Mm-hmm. It's a very I love what we do, and it's always a pleasure to set the time.
Yeah, for sure. What type of calibers do we find in your creation, or in-house calibers?
No, we don't have in-house caliber. From the beginning of the HYT, we have always partnered with master watchmaker to create our caliber together. And today we use the caliber from a company called Tech.
Okay, great. And then one thing that is very important, is when you are using fluids, is the impact of the temperature and the atmospheric pressure.
Yes.
How do you manage, and is there any limits for the using in terms of pressure or temperature?
So to answer the question about the pressure, the fluidic module is perfectly sealed, 10,000 times more than a diving watch. So there's no alteration of the pressure on the fluidic part. Regarding the temperature, that's also a very crazy innovation from our founders. We had to understand that a liquid, when it's hot, it's expanding. It has a tendency to expand, and when it's too cold, it has also a tendency to shrink. So we had to invent what we call the thermal compensator. Inside one of the active bellow, the one with the filled, the colored liquid, you have a smaller bellow that is acting as a counter effect. So whenever it's too hot and the liquid will start to expand, the thermal compensator is actively trying to break, to stop the liquid to have a very precise indication of time. On the contrary, when it's too cold, the thermal compensator is trying to push the liquid to have the most precise indication of time.
Okay, great. Then let's talk about your new collection, just recently presented over 2 months ago during Watches and Wonders in Geneva. Tell us something about the T1 models.
You've mentioned something about the communication and the discussion with our collectors. What we wanted to do with this collection, after the feedback from the trade, from our retailers, from our collectors, is to launch the most wearable and the most traditional timepiece ever. So we took the challenge to have a smaller case, a more wearable timepiece, and comfortable. And we also wanted to do something where we were not expected, to release a traditional piece, because if you see our history, we always have daring and outstanding pieces showing the movement, And we wanted to also show after 12 years that we have reached a certain maturity where we can hide the movement and only let him visible for our collectors when they have the piece themselves and they can just see the movement in the back. Mm-hmm. What is interesting is that also we decided to put a closed dial and not only make a simple dial. We wanted also to bring more watchmaking content. And if you see the level of finishing on our dial, we wanted to have this frappé, ensoleillé, sunburst dial. So it's also the challenge we wanted to propose. It's to have a piece that has more watchmaking content.
Mm-hmm. But you have also in this collection 4 different models?
Correct. We have 3 titanium keys. One, it's the silver dial, the slate dial, and the salmon dial. Mm-hmm. I have with me the salmon dial here also that you can see. And we have also released the gold version with the blue dial, the deep blue dial. Another feature that was also very important for us is to introduce the interchangeability of straps. And so you have also a quick release system on the piece, mm-hmm. And then you can put another strap very easily. So I can put this one. We have different color of straps. All the pieces are always coming with 2 rubber straps, mm-hmm. but we have also the possibility to have a Velcro strap. So now you see, I changed the strap very easily, and you have a completely new timepiece.
Mm-hmm. Just one question. Having seen the back of the watch, all your watches are manually wound, no?
Correct, yes. The mechanical movement is a manual winding watch. You can see here from the back.
Around how many hours of power reserve do they have?
We have on the dial we have the indication of power reserve. The power reserve is 72 hours.
Mm-hmm. Great. Also, out from the T1 that you just have released some months ago, you have also other collections with
yes.
other complications. Can you tell us a little bit about those watches?
Yes. In our collection today, we have the Asteroid collection, the Moonrunner collection, the Conical Tourbillon, as well as the T1 series that we just launched. The Asteroid collection was launched in 2022. The idea of the Asteroid was to release a timepiece that was slimmer and lighter compared to the previous generation that was known to be quite thick and also heavy. We also wanted to introduce new materials like carbon, titanium, magnesium and bronze. So that was also the idea to have a sporty timepiece, slimmer than the one we had before. What was important in 2022 is also the launch of the Moonrunner. For the first time after 10 years, we launched the first timepiece with small complication. The moon phase, the date, and the month on one piece. And that was a very interesting step for HYT, is to start to bring more watchmaking content. And that's what we will do also for the future when I will speak about our development. And last year, we launched also the first tourbillon ever from the brand. And I'm also pleased to share with you a timepiece that we launched in June, a piece unique that we have here with me. That will be the diamond, infinite diamonds. That will be a unique piece with our movement, conical tourbillon.
Amazing piece. It's amazing the tourbillon and also the movement of the parts that are over the tourbillon. Huh?
Yes. I mean, the idea was to release a tourbillon that was not a simple single-axis tourbillon. We wanted to show that we do different things at HYT watches, and that's why we chose to have a conical tourbillon centered with a 30 seconds rotation.
Mm-hmm. Then you have included in some watches day, moon phase, but with liquids, is it possible to show more than just hours? We will see something new in the future with more liquids?
The answer is yes. We started to work on the new development. Since I joined, we decided also to start a product strategy, a development phase for the next 4 or 5 years. And the idea was to follow two directions for the vision of our collection, is the watchmaking content and the innovation. In terms of watchmaking content, as you can see, we started to bring more decoration or timepiece, and the idea is to release a new movement with the chronograph. Mm-hmm. And to answer your question about what else we can indicate with the fluids, the idea is to, on the innovative part, is to work on a completely new way to display not only the time, but also some functions with the fluids. But this will take more time to develop. As you know, when we develop a new movement, it can take some time. So we started to work, and we hope in the 2-3 years we will be able to release this new new innovative way to indicate times or functions. And also the idea is to continue the trend to reduce the case size. The T1 series was a first for us to have a 45 millimeter case with no lugs and the strap that is falling straight to improve the wearability. The idea of the new movement for the next 2-3 years is to have pieces between 39 and 40 millimeter.
Mm-hmm. Great, much better.
Yeah,
because it's the trend of the market, no?
It's a trend. The movement that we have today, we have always to consider that we have two movements inside one timepiece. So in terms of volume, we had also to work with this constraint, and that's why the case size was always a challenge to have always reduced.
Mm-hmm. What are the most important markets for you right now?
Historically, we had a very good performance in Asia. In the last years, we had the chance also to have a good balance between the markets, between Americas, Middle East, and Asia. The new launch of the T1 series helped us also to enter and going back strongly in Asia. As we know, most of the wrists are smaller, and in a certain extent, all the collectors are asking always for smaller case size. So we're also happy to have a better collection to fit the European wrist, for instance.
Mm-hmm. And how do you see the Spanish market? Is it attractive for a brand like you? You know that the Spanish market is quite focused on mainstream and traditional brands. Yes. You know that several years ago I had a shop devoted to independent, and we had to close because it was quite different. But now there is the new wave of independent brands, and collectors are more focused into independent. Yeah, are you planning to come back to Spain?
Yeah, we are in discussion with our historical partner in Spain, of course. And I think also, as you said, maybe when you had the store, it was too early for the Spanish market.
Yeah,
the market has changed.
2004 to 2009, too early. Unfortunately, it was too early.
The avant-garde of the...
Yeah.
So yeah, I know that now in Spain, some partners, some retailers are also focusing their efforts to propose and display independent brands and to increase the space and the visibility of independent brands. So maybe it will be a time to come back. However, again, in Europe, today we have 3 points of sale: Milano, Paris, and London. And we have to also to consider the size of our distribution according to our production capacity, because when we want to be present in a certain market, we need to make sure that we can deliver and support our retailer. So we will study step by step according to our production capacity where we can come to the market.
Yeah, because you are in Paris with Laurent Pichot at Chrono Passion, no?
Yes.
With in Milan, I presume with Jacopo at GMT?
Oh, we are with Pisa.
With Pisa. Okay. Because Jacopo is the master of independence, and I thought that you were with Jacopo. And in London, where are you?
We are with Swiss Gallery in London. Also a point of sale that have also a good understanding of the independent brand.
Then for our viewers, if they are planning to buy an HYT, they know where to go.
Yeah. But they can also visit our website or contact us, and then we'll be more than happy to redirect them to our retailers.
Yeah, we can talk with Carla, our dear friend Carla, who is always very open to talk about watches, and she's in Barcelona.
Yes.
We thank always to her that she's always helping us with interviews like the one that are doing with you. Then we are finishing. We have been talking about the maybe next 5 years, but are you planning this year to introduce any more models?
So for us at Watches and Wonders, we have released 4 references, as we just explained. The T1 series is the main focus of 2024, and we also launched the Conical Tourbillon Panda, a limited edition that we just released in the month of May. And I've also shown the Conical Tourbillon unique piece, the Diamond, that we will also launch in June. Beside that, maybe we plan some surprise for Geneva Watch Days. The idea is also to keep a small number of pieces in our collection, and the idea is really to focus on the T1 series this year. And we start to, as you know, we started to work on next year as well.
Okay, great. Just the last question.
Yes.
If you were not wearing an HYT, what brand and what model would you wear?
That's a good question. Through the journey I had in the watchmaking industry, I started quite young to purchase pieces, and I have in my collection the first piece I bought for myself. It's a Panerai Luminor, and I really love that. However, if I had no budget limit, I would pick eventually a Zeitwerk from Lange.
Wow, great
because
piece.
I love that piece.
Yeah.
And also a special feeling for Global Force. So
yeah. Also great watches.
That's way above my budget today.
Let's think big.
Always.
Yeah. Thank you, Vahe. Thank you for being with us. Thank you also to Carla and Alma for helping us to have this interview. Hope to see you soon in Madrid, and hope the brand will be back as soon as possible.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your community as well. Thank you to Rafa and yourself for the interview.
Okay, great.
Thank you.